What's going on, everyone? I am ZippingMeteor, and if you're watching this on the day that I make it public, today is my 1-year anniversary on YouTube. That's right, December 3rd of 2012, I posted my first video. It was about the video game Thomas Was Alone. I didn't do any commentary over it because there was commentary in the game. I didn't have the best computer, so there's tons of lag. All in all, it wasn't a very good video, but I completed that game. In fact, it's one of 3 games that I've actually completed, the other 2 being Darksiders 2 and Rayman Origins. Since I made this channel, I've posted over 230 videos. I've gotten nearly 1,300 views, and I've averaged between 17 and 20 subscribers. And not the greatest, but for a first year, it's probably way better than I would have ever expected. Now, a few days after I made this channel, I posted my first commentary. If you all remember, it was about me talking about the winners of the Spike Video Game Awards. And I was playing Minecraft while I was doing it. It wasn't my best video either, or videos, because I broke it up into separate parts. But it was my first commentary. Since then, I've done a lot more commentaries and added a webcam, done Let's Plays, and top 5s, top 10s, a speed paint video. I've done all different kinds of videos. I'm still coming up with new ideas all the time. But I figure, with my 1-year anniversary on YouTube, I should try to do something similar to what I did a year ago. If you notice at the top of your screen and the background, we're going to be talking about VGX. On the left side of your screen, you will see most of the categories this year. I'm going to be going through each of those and saying who I think should win. We will talk about the most anticipated and the game of the year at the end. So the first category I've got on my list, Studio. I've got the VGX website open up, so I'm going to have to pull up each one individually. I didn't put them in order. The nominees this year were Irrational Games for... I don't know the studios all that well. Irrational was BioShock Infinite. Then we got Naughty Dog for The Last of Us, Rockstar North for Grand Theft Auto, and the Fulbright Company for Gone Home. Now, of those 4 different entries, the one I had to go with, Rockstar North. Sorry. I had to go with Rockstar because while BioShock Infinite was good, it missed the horror element of the first 2 BioShocks. I can't pick Naughty Dog because I didn't play The Last of Us. I played the demo, didn't like it. Not my style of game. I can't pick Fulbright because though Gone Home was an interesting experience, I don't really consider it a game. And while I think everyone should experience Gone Home, it wasn't really for me. So I had to pick Rockstar because GTA is probably one of my favorite games. And GTA 5 with the online, it's a really fun experience. Alright, let me go ahead and pull up the categories again. Next one up is Best Shooter. The nominees this year were Battlefield 4, BioShock Infinite, Call of Duty Ghosts, and Metro Last Light. Now, I had to go with, excuse me, BioShock Infinite, because I never played Metro. I'm not a fan of Call of Duty, and I'm not a fan of Battlefield, so BioShock Infinite was the natural choice for me, especially since I'm really not the biggest first-person shooter fan. Infinite was a good game. Not the best Bioshock. Okay, next up, action game. Actually, action adventure. I couldn't fit it on here without blocking my camera. The nominees were Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, GTA 5, The Last of Us, and Tomb Raider. And my pick was Tomb Raider. Logo doesn't really show up in this background, but you get the point. I picked Tomb Raider because while Assassin's Creed is a good game, I've kind of gotten tired of the series. GTA, I don't really consider it an action-adventure game in the traditional sense of the phrase. I really put it more in the open-world driving kind of game. Again, The Last of Us, not a game for me. I don't like the whole zombie, slow-paced type of game. It's just not for me. Tomb Raider, though, it was a reboot to bring back an old series, try to make it more real, more emotional. It was an all-around good game that didn't get enough credit, didn't get enough sales, which is kind of sad. Next up, best sports game. I got nothing. I'm not a sports fan, and every entry on the sports game category list was a traditional sports game. You got FIFA 14, I don't like soccer. MLB 13, the show, I don't like baseball. NBA 2K14, don't like basketball. And NHL 14, don't like hockey. If one of those was an extreme sports, I probably would have picked an entry, but I hate sports. In fact, it's probably my second least favorite category, with the number one category being horror games. So let's move on to the next category. Next one up is Best Independent Game. And the nominees are Gone Home, Kentucky Route Zero, Papers, Please, and The Stanley Parable. This one was a no-brainer. Had to go with The Stanley Parable. I thought Gone Home was an interesting experience, but it wasn't fun for me. Kentucky Route Zero, never actually played it. Same with Papers, Please. But The Stanley Parable, I played the mod before it became an actual game, and I loved it. So I bought The Stanley Parable day one, and I've loved every minute of it. It was a no-brainer. Next up, we got the Best RPG. I really should have put these in the actual order. And the nominees are Final Fantasy XIV Online, A Realm Reborn, Fire Emblem Awakening, can't speak today, Fire Emblem Awakening, Neo no Kuni, Wrath of the White Witch, and Pokemon X and Y. Again, this one was a easy pick for me. Had to go with Pokemon. I might have picked Ni no Kuni if I had played it, because I really like the art style. But of the four on here, the only one I've actually played and can tell you that I like is Pokemon X and Y. And to be honest, I kind of expect it to win that category simply because of how big Pokemon is worldwide. Next up, we got Best Fighting Game. Quite the interesting category. We got Dive Kick, Injustice Gods Among Us, Killer Instinct, and Tekken Revolution. And let's see, I went too far in my setup. There we go. I went with Injustice. Mainly because it's the only one of the four that I've played, but also because I haven't played Dive Kick, I haven't played Tekken Revolution. If I had an Xbox One, Killer Instinct would have probably won this. But of the four, the only one I've actually played is Injustice. So, naturally it had to win. Of course, it's a really good fighter, made by the same guys as Mortal Kombat, so of all those on there, I think Injustice will probably win. If not, Killer Instinct will. I'm sure of that. After all, it is one of the most requested fighting games in a long time. Okay, next up we got Best Driving Game. And please excuse if my camera is going from light to dark. It's a cheap webcam. Okay, Best Driving Game. We got F1 2013, Grid 2, Forza Motorsport 5, and Need for Speed Rival. And my pick this year is Need for Speed. I went with it because, again, it's the only... Oh, no, I've actually played Grid 2. I went with Need for Speed because I've always been a Need for Speed fan. In fact, I think Need for Speed Most Wanted, one of the earlier racing games on the 360, I believe, for a while I was one of the top racers in that game. I know it was a horrible arcade game, but I was really good at it. And I've always been a fan of Need for Speed, even though most of their games lately have been less than perfect. It wasn't until Criterion picked it up that it really started to get to what it used to be in quality. It's a really fun game, and right now it's the only game I have on PS4. Now, much like the fighting games, if I had an Xbox One, Forza probably would have won because I'm a big fan of the creative elements in the game. Next up, we got Best DLC. I'll tell you right now, you're not going to see the logo very well on this one. The choices are Borderlands 2, Tiny Tina's Assault on Dragon Keep, Dishonored, The Knife of Dunwall, Far Cry 3, Blood Dragon, and Mass Effect 3, Citadel. And my choice was Tiny Tina's Assault on Dragon's Keep. I went with it because of all the NPCs in Borderlands, Tiny Tina is easily my favorite. It could be because she's voiced by Ashley Birch from Hey Ash, What You Playin'. It could be because she's just crazy. But she's easily my favorite NPC, and to have her own DLC, I couldn't pass that up. She's a hilarious character, voiced by an hilarious voice actress / internet personality. I didn't pick The Knife of Dunwall because I haven't played it. I love Dishonored from what little I've played of it, but I haven't played Knife of Dunwall. Blood Dragon, I have played it. It's great, but when I think of DLC, I don't necessarily think of full downloaded games. I think of add-on content. So I couldn't pick Far Cry 3 on that alone. Mass Effect 3, not a fan of the series. Okay, next up we got Best Xbox Game. I'm going to tell you guys right now, even though Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo, the categories are for the best game overall for the system, I don't like it that way. So you'll probably have a pretty good idea of what game I'm going to pick for each of the categories. Best Xbox Game, we got BioShock Infinite, Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons, GTA 5, and Tomb Raider. And based on what I previously said, you can probably assume that I'm going to go with the exclusives. And you're right. For Xbox, I went with Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons. A very interesting game, very cool art style. Doesn't actually have any real dialogue in the game, yet it tells an amazing story. It's so good, in fact, that Total Biscuit, one of the most well-known internet personalities here on YouTube, has said in numerous videos that it is probably going to be not only his game of the year, but one of the best games he's ever played. That's some serious praise from Total Biscuit. Okay, best PlayStation game. Where is it? There it is. The nominees are GTA 5, Rayman Legends, The Last of Us, and Tomb Raider. Now, based on what I just said, I had to go with The Last of Us. GTA, Rayman, and Tomb Raider are not exclusives. In fact, Rayman Legends is the best platform. It is a Nintendo platform. It's not my choice. And even though I don't like The Last of Us, I think it's going to win that category. Simply because it is really well received. And even though I don't like it, I can appreciate that it is really well made. Okay, next up. Best Nintendo game. Now, Nintendo, their category is a bit different. All of their games are exclusives. Or would be if Ubisoft hadn't decided to go multi-platform with their game. The nominees are Pikmin 3, Rayman Legends, Super Mario 3D World, and The Wonderful 101. And I had to go with Super Mario 3D World. It's a Nintendo platform, it's a Nintendo game. It's with Nintendo's mascot. It's gonna be amazing. There's just no way around it. Now, I've played Pikmin, it's really good. I've been playing Rayman Legends on this channel. It's really good. Clearly built for the Wii U, but good nonetheless. The Wonderful 101, I haven't played it yet. I really want to. But the first game I ever played was Super Mario World. And 3D World is... well, it's an amazing Mario game. You can't avoid it. If you own a Wii U, you need to own that game. Though, you probably should own Pikmin and The Wonderful 101 too. Okay, best PC game. Benefit of having two monitors, I can have the list on one side and the XSplit on the other. Okay, best PC game. The nominees are Battlefield 4, Gone Home, Papers, Please, and The Stanley Parable. Again, not a fan of Battlefield. I thought Gone Home was interesting. It wasn't really fun for me. And I've never played Papers, Please. So I had to go with The Stanley Parable. And inadvertently, I'm kind of quoting, or trying to impersonate the guy from the game, well, whenever I say that. If you haven't played The Stanley Parable on PC, you need to do that. If you have Half-Life 2, I believe, at least go download the mod. It's free. Or play the demo for The Stanley Parable on PC. It's not even what you get in the game. And it's still good. In fact, the demo for The Stanley Parable it's something you should play before you get the game, regardless, simply because the content isn't in the full game. It's one of those unique demos that everyone should play, whether they're going to play the full game or not. Best handheld game. Got quite a few good nominees on this one. The nominees are Animal Crossing New Leaf, Pokemon X and Y, Tearaway, and The Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds. I had to go with a game I haven't played yet, even though I know I'm going to be getting it at Christmas. Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds. I'm not an Animal Crossing fan. Never have been. I've been tempted to pick up the newest one just to try it out. But ultimately I decided not to many times. Pokemon X and Y, is a really good game, but I feel like it's shorter. I know it's definitely easier than the past games. It might have actually made my pick on this entry if it had allowed multiple saves so that I could have one run for the normal game and one run from Nuzlocke, but alas, they didn't do that. So I had to go with A Link Between Worlds because some of my favorite internet personalities have pretty much named this as one of their top Zelda games of all time, and one of their top games period of all time, including one of the musicians I listen to, one of the singers from the probably most famous for the Zombies on Your Lawn song from Plants vs. Zombies, Laura Shigihara. She's actually mentioned it as one of her like top 10 favorite games now. So many internet personalities have said that it's so good that I have no doubts that I'm going to love every minute of it. And I think of all the entries on that list, either Zelda or Pokemon is going to win. I don't know much about Tearaway, so I can't really say anything about it. Okay, best casual game. We got Animal Crossing New Leaf, Disney Infinity, Plants vs. Zombies 2, and Skylanders Swap Force. Guess that goes to show you just how popular those games with toys are becoming. I had to go with Disney Infinity. I haven't played it yet, but I know for a fact that I'm going to be getting it at Christmas. So I had to pick it because another internet personality that I watch, CNanners, he's kind of described it as a mix between Minecraft and Gary's Mod. I don't see how that could be a bad thing. Now, I gotta get a few more figures for it, of course, but it seems like a really fun game to just goof around in, which is why I'm getting it. Couldn't pick Animal Crossing because it's probably a great casual game, but I've never been able to get into it, as I said on the previous entry. Plants vs. Zombies, great game. But I'm not so sure I'd really consider it casual. Especially in harder difficulties, especially on that game if you're not doing the whole pay-to-win thing. I don't consider it casual. It can be really difficult at sometimes. In Skylanders, I haven't played Swap Force. I've played the original. That was enough for me. It was fun, but I just couldn't get into it all that much. Okay, we're going to do the next, or reveal the next two at the same time, because I might as well tell you they are in the same game. Nominees for Best Voice Actor: Troy Baker as Joel from The Last of Us, Troy Baker as Booker DeWitt, Stephen Ogg as Trevor Phillips from GTA, and the last one, Booker DeWitt, was BioShock Infinite. And the last one, William Dafoe as Nathan Dawkins in Beyond Two Souls. We'll go ahead and go through the nominees of voice actors as well. Nominees are Ashley Johnson as Ellie from The Last of Us, Courtney Draper as Elizabeth from BioShock Infinite, Camellia Luddington as Lara Croft from Tomb Raider, and Ellen Page as Jodie Holmes from Beyond Two Souls. Now, my winners are both from BioShock Infinite, which means voice actor Troy Baker as Booker DeWitt in BioShock, and Courtney Draper as Elizabeth from BioShock Infinite. I thought they were really good in the game. The way the two characters played off each other was unlike what you've seen in most games, so it was a really cool experience. Next up, Best Soundtrack. we've got the soundtrack from Bioshock Infinite, GTA 5, Neo no Kuni, Wrath of the Black Witch, or White Witch, and The Last of Us. Now, this one was pretty easy for me to pick. Had to go with GTA. Simply because the game uses so much licensed music that it really makes the world feel alive. And for a game like GTA, you need that music. You need the songs to play to correspond to where you are in the world. It just works and makes the game that much more immersive. And of course we got Best Song in a Game. The nominees are ADHD, performed by Kendrick Lamar in GTA 5. Sleepwalking, performed by the Chain Gang of 1974 in GTA 5. Survival, performed by Eminem in Call of Duty Ghosts. And Will the Circle Be Unbroken, performed by Courtney Draper and Troy Baker in Bioshock Infinite. And I went with Will the Circle Be Unbroken in Bioshock Infinite. I went with that because I'm not a fan of Eminem, so I wasn't going to pick a song in a game that I don't like, Call of Duty. And the other two songs I haven't actually heard yet in GTA 5. But I've beaten Bioshock Infinite, so that one song is the only one that I could actually pick. Again, these are choices that I want to win, not the ones that don't necessarily win. Though I really hope that Eminem doesn't win. I know he's getting a lot of praise lately for his song Rap God, but I'm just not a fan. Okay, of course that leaves two more categories. First up, most anticipated. The nominees are Destiny from Activision and Bungie, Titanfall from Electronic Arts and Respawn Entertainment, South Park: The Stick of Truth from Ubisoft and Obsidian Entertainment, The Witcher 3: Wild Hunt from Warner Bros. Interactive and CD Projekt, and Watch Dogs from Ubisoft and Ubisoft Montreal. And for this one, I had to go with Watch Dogs. I couldn't pick Destiny because, admittedly, I don't know enough about Destiny, besides the fact that it's Bungie's new project and that it's multi-platform. I didn't pick Titanfall because, though it looks really interesting, I don't plan on getting an Xbox One for quite some time. And if memory serves me correct, Titanfall is a console exclusive, I think. Don't correct me on that, but right now it's just not one that I'm too interested in at the moment. South Park: The Stick of Truth. I hate South Park. Hate everything about it. The Witcher 3. I've played a little bit of The Witcher 2. It's a fun game. It's well made. But most anticipated? No, not by a long shot. I had to go with Watch Dogs because until it got delayed, it was the game I was going to get on the PS4 launch. Instead, I got stuck with Need for Speed. In fact, a lot of people wanted Watch Dogs as their console launch game. But that delay kind of pushed everything back. Okay, last category. Game of the Year. Sorry about that. We got Bioshock Infinite, Grand Theft Auto 5, Super Mario 3D World, The Last of Us, and Tomb Raider. Now, thankfully, I didn't have to actually make a category on screen for this one, because all the nominees have already been picked by me. So, my pick for the 2013 Game of the Year is Super Mario 3D World. Like I said, I've been a big fan of Mario my entire life. First, some of my earliest memories are of Super Mario World. I've played every major Mario game that's ever come out, with maybe one exception. And from what I've played of 3D World, and I've posted here on this channel, it's an amazing game. The music's nostalgic while still being fresh. The platforming is fun, the levels are colorful. It's an all-around good game, a game that you should enjoy if you have a Wii U, and I think it's one most people would enjoy even if they're not normally a Nintendo fan. Though, I expect that either The Last of Us or GTA will end up winning this ultimately. But my game of the year, hands down, Super Mario 3D World. So there you have it. My picks for the winners of this year's Spike Video Game Awards. I don't think I'll do one discussing the winners. I don't see a point. But if you're watching this, please leave a comment down below. Tell me what your winners are, or what games you think should have been put in a category as a nominee. Do you not agree with any of these? Do you not agree with the nominees? Let me know. Post a comment below. Work your way through that whole Google Plus nonsense. Or send me a message, I don't care. Just let me know what you think. Also, thank you all for sticking around for this year. I don't plan on going anywhere. There will be plenty more videos from me throughout the year. Also, this wasn't the only video that I made in honor of my 1-year YouTube anniversary. Yesterday, as of this going public, I also posted an impersonation video where I impersonated the Clown Prince of Crime, the Joker. Go check that out. There's no video, but it's all me, all unedited. I'd appreciate it if you go check it out. And who knows, maybe I'll do another impersonation video if the views are decent enough on that one. Thanks again, guys. I'm ZippingMeteor. I'll see you next time.